Welcome in everybody to today's collective read. I'm not really sure what I'm going to title this video, but we'll just start pulling cards and getting the message out and see how we go. So I was getting that song, the Split Ends, I Got You one. That's the one that goes something like, sometimes I don't know why I get frightened. And so that was one that was like, I'll actually link in the description box the original kind of collective message that came out for that. So it feels like it's going to be like a stream of consciousness that's going to come through in some of those sometimes day-to-day messages or collective reads that I'll put out. So it's, again, not something that I'm sure if it will be kept up with like every day. But I'm kind of being instructed right now to at least pump out like 5 of them that will be hopefully released like a day apart over a span of 5 days. So there will be a little bit of a solid stream of some of these messages coming out for those of you that it resonates with. And so this, it's kind of, even though it is a collective message, in some ways it's like not as specific, because like a pick a card is a way that you can narrow down the group, but which is always like, I never say it enough in any of my videos. It's not the same as doing a personal reading. It is, the intention is for it to be, the same to the best that it kind of can be, but they're still taking into account a lot of different people and scenarios and situations. So just take what resonates with this. As much as I've talked about it being collective, I do feel like there are going to be very specific situations coming through here. So if it does not resonate, maybe my picker cards are better videos for you to keep up with, unless you see a title that you're particularly called to. So see how that goes anyway and see what happens. So we've got the I Got You song. Yeah, like, I don't know why sometimes I get frightened. Okay, what are we going to start off with? I almost get this weird energy of squirming, like certain emotional, I heard the word deficits. It might not be a deficit, but it may just feel like one, or an area that makes you, maybe you like struggle with intimacy or something, and like the very thought of it makes you really uncomfortable, almost like a squirmy kind of like like I'm pretty happy keeping that at bay kind of energy, right? It doesn't have to be intimacy, it's just an example, right? There could be a few different versions of this. So this could look like love language mismatch, or being uncomfortable with how you express yourself in your connections. It could look like so many things. Being uncomfortable with the things that actually you like and find fulfilling in life that may not actually be very traditional or typical. And so there's a lot of uncomfortability here, and I almost get, sometimes it's weird, I feel like I get this energy come through a lot in the collective ones, where I almost feel sick, or like I want to word vomit, or like the very feeling of the energy makes me feel like I want to vomit or something like that. Okay, so again, taking what resonates. But there is something here to, it's like entertaining the idea of some of these different things that make you feel uncomfortable. And it potentially lends into a little bit of like a manifestation energy, where it's like we're envisioning something and how it could potentially play out in like either a quite neutral or I was going to say potential way. I was going to say positive. So maybe you're just envisioning how something could play out and the potential of where it could go that could be quite positive, or have a positive like result or effect or something, and just see what it feels like to sit in that energy, or what it would look like, or what it would be that you would want, or how you could imagine it coming together that actually does feel very comfortable for you, being in intimate space or something like that, or having maybe you do feel like you have a mismatch in love languages, or maybe you feel like you have a very uncomfortable, awkward self-expression, and you don't know how to do that while being yourself. Like you feel very much like a fish out of water. And you just, it might throw your whole mojo out of whack, and you don't know how to move forward from it. But they're like kind of encouraging you to imagine being in that position, and then imagining how that may actually pan out for you, or how you may be met with a person who actually receives it well and makes you feel really comfortable, or reassures you, or kind of just takes the lead. And I don't know, maybe the situation changes in some way that kind of allows for that to just be okay and be accepted and be a thing and still be attractive and still have a coming together that's actually really, really good. I feel really good. Like, some of you guys could just, like, the thought or the feeling of like broaching on any of this stuff could just make you feel like, but I don't know. For some of you guys, it's like such an awkward feeling of putting yourself out there again in some way. And I just did a pick a card. I don't know when it's going to be released in conjunction to these day-to-day messages. But it's like a lot of it seemed like starting again, or sort of coming back on the market, or just the beginning of being more open minded towards like entering into any new connections, whether that looks like it's romantic or platonic, doesn't matter. And so yeah, I'm just getting the words like putting yourself through the paces. And so for some of you, maybe you don't imagine the way in which it feels awkward and how it could kind of come together in a way that doesn't. Maybe for some of you, it's just imagining a way that it never is awkward, but it is true to your expression, right? So it's like just generally accepted, normal, no one bats an eyelid at it, and it just is what it is, and it's great. And there's also kind of an energy here of being like the pick of the litter, or having the pick of the litter as well. So it's like you may think you may see yourself in a certain way, or maybe you really are that way. I don't know. Maybe you like get in your head and you're like, my body's to this and my that's to that, or I know I'm this type of person, so I'm not that type of person. Or even if it's none of that, maybe you actually see yourself in a really positive loving light, where you actually do have lots of good positive attributes, but you just know that you're like a particular type, and you know that maybe you're not everybody's cup of tea. But I kind of get the feeling that you are. I don't know if that's like weird for you to hear. Maybe, I don't know, I am getting a lot of stuff about the physical appearance, or in terms of like being comfortable with our body. And I do have to say, not that it necessarily will be a thing for everybody here. I don't even really feel like it's dysmorphia. It could be, but I feel like, and no shades or anything like that. I just feel like it's just like I just know this is how or who I am. So even if it's not to do with the body, it could be a sense of style or the things in life that do give you joy. So like, I don't know, me, for example, I'd be like, well, I really like tarot, and obviously not everybody's into that, right? So that could be an example of how that could play out. Maybe there's certain things, like maybe you're a really artistic person. You're like, I just could paint all day, and not everybody's into that. But like, it's actually a really beautiful thing. And if like, anyone who wouldn't find it beautiful, like, boo-hoo. I don't know, man. People should want to see more than just what's on the face of someone, right? And like, why can't they get interested in it? And why can't they fall in love with it if they really like you? Or why can't that be one of the things that is like even better about you? Or, whatever that looks like, okay? Yeah. And so I think there is something here to, like, when you're able to move past this stage, or just pick, I don't know what this is. I'm going to read some of the words off the card and we'll see what happens. I do want to say some of it could be driven by like a lack mindset, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Because I feel like some of you are actually quite full of love. So we've got choices, search for purpose, illusion, fantasy, daydreams, wishful thinking, and indecision. It is a little bit more heads in the cloud here. So it's not necessarily, it is a little bit more like entertaining different ideas and different visions, and sometimes being idealistic, or just thinking of all the nice ways that things could play out, which is what you're kind of meant to do. But there's an element here of like, it's the indecision, right? Yeah. Okay, so lack of purpose, disarray, confusion, diversion, distractions. Yeah, it's distraction, clarity, poor choices. It's very much like distraction and indecision and fantasy, okay? So it's like, this is a good thing for you, but we just don't want to get like, we don't want to play into it too much. It's like I don't know how to explain that, because to me it feels like opposing energies, or opposing ideas, because I'm like, we're meant to be sitting in this and doing the exercise and envisioning things, and it is like a manifestation type exercise where it's like we're not being attached to the outcome, but we're thinking what it would feel like and seeing how that would feel nice or play out for us and what would be the best fit. I feel like for some of you, just it's coming back to that thing of like, you may think you're only for one type of person, like that whole thing about beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I just feel like for you guys, you're kind of everybody's cup. You're kind of everybody's version. And I don't know, maybe you just don't feel like that. But it's like the other side of it is that maybe you don't realize that you actually have all these different parts of you that really make up something better than any one person's like defined version of what it should look like or be or what they would want. Like, I just get the essence here that like maybe it's okay to acknowledge that sometimes people actually don't even know what they want and what would be best for them or what they would enjoy the most or what fulfills them the most until they get there by accident and then are like, oh shit, this is good. Okay. Better than I thought, better than I could have picked for myself, better than I could have manifested myself, because it was like, just, I don't even know. It's really good, okay? It's really good. We literally have the 10 of Cups here. Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't know. Some of you may feel a little bit eccentric. It's not even a drama. I don't know. What else do we have for this message? So what I want to say is that if more than anything, if people are not coming towards you or putting offers out there or something like that, they could actually be nervous. They could actually see you as like, I'm getting the reference for like all that in a bag of chips. So just only take what resonates and just know that it's meant in the best way. People see you as just like all of the things, and they could actually be a bit nervous to want to approach you, or they may not know if they really could match you in some way. And so yeah, we could potentially have a little bit of a mirrored energy, but just take what resonates for this one. We could have like a joining of families here. There could actually be like long-term fulfilling connection that will come from this, where things like families could be created. Already touched on a blending of families. There could also just be like finding the people that make us feel like home. Yeah, and that's really lovely. That's really nice. People that just give us super fulfilling connections, no matter what they look like. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I need to do like a quick little, I don't know, maybe like cleanse of the energy, but I don't know. I just want like a little bit. Oh, some of you guys, when I say guys, this is everybody. It's inclusive. It's not to mean a specific thing. Some of the viewers here, some of the people in the audience, no matter who you are, you could have a little bit of like a self-deprecating, is it deprecating humor? Yeah, I don't know, like potentially like kind of laughing. It's like a little bit of humility, touches on like poor self-esteem in some of the ways that you might, have humor. And humor, it's, like a coping resiliency kind of, I'm getting the word mechanism. So again, just take what resonates. Hopefully that makes sense. I just need to let you guys know I'm not educated in anything. It's just kind of what I'm getting come through. What is this? Some of you guys are robbing yourselves blind of like the good things and good connections you could have in your life. Or you're letting this like never-ending fantasizing or thinking about all the choices, actually, it's like it's the fact that it's not ending. So it's like, yes, you are meant to do it. Yes, it's really good for you. I think if anything, it's that whole like realizing that you are all that in the bag of chips for the reference, right? That you actually are someone's 10 of cups, and you're probably actually many people's 10 of cups if you just gave people the chance. But every time that you stay in this energy instead of like stepping out of it or moving on from it or being open to something genuinely. It's like you're keeping yourself in a holding pattern here where you're literally robbing you and whoever else these people are that are interested in you from having the chance to move forward. Yeah. Okay. So for some of you, you need to have like a bit of a self-starting, initiating energy here, because some of these people feel like they're not in your league. Some of these people feel like, I don't know, like they may just think you're not interested because you look like you're so full up on your own life or something like that. And what I would say is there are going to be times where it doesn't work out, and that's okay. And you may feel like you're kind of, I don't know, do you get awkward? I'm getting that sick feeling come up through my throat and in my mouth again. Some of you guys may feel like you word vomit, or you don't say the right thing, or you just like say all the things, or overshare, or not enough, or like it's like awkward. I don't know. But like, maybe you guys just feel like, I look at you and I'm like, you're great. You're literally great. There would be nothing wrong with the conversation you would start. There'd be nothing wrong with your humor. There'd be nothing wrong with your attractiveness or your values or anything. You guys are actually good, right? And also still very attractive in like a kind of feminine way too. I'm getting the words earthy as well. So like if you're not resonating with like a feminine energy, or like, sorry, a feminine physical form, you could have more of a feminine energy where you're just actually like a bit more open and just being like who you are, or receiving or something like that. But I don't know. Some of you guys may just feel awkward about it because you feel like you're still picking up the pieces of your own life. So you don't even want to be a self-starter because you're like, I don't want anyone to walk in on this and then they're just going to like get drawn into it, or it's just going to be a problem later. And like, I still have more things that I have to sort out. And so if you do really feel like that, yeah, maybe you do have a bit more that you have to kind of clean up or, you know, get around while you go through this process. But they don't want you to stay there forever, and they actually want you to do the work. They want you to pick up the pieces. They want you to, even if it seems like there's no real like return, like capitalizing on a return here of investment, it's like this is kind of holding things up. Like, if you don't do this, it cannot get better, or if you don't do this, you cannot open up the room for another person. It's like, some of you guys, it is a bit of a healing exercise where you're going to realize through this envisioning the different people that you may come into contact with and how it could play out in a really positive manner. Some of you guys, you need to get a little bit cheeky and say hello to a person, or start up some sort of small talk with somebody that maybe you do find attractive, and just see if they reciprocate. And so even if it never goes anywhere, it's not really the point or the purpose, although maybe it could be. Maybe it could get there, is like, maybe they say hello back. Like, maybe they ask you how your day's been, or what I don't know, like, whatever. I don't know. Maybe you don't say hello. Maybe that's like, you know, use context, right? How long have you been coming here? Or like, I don't know. I think you guys have pretty good feelers. Like, I think this group would be a group that like, you know what would be awkward, and you know what would just be like normal chit chat, and you may not want to put yourself out there or something, or you feel like you may, I don't know. Okay, so what else do we have here? So, okay, so some of you may feel like you've been robbed of your sensuality here. So this is like a separate message that I'm having come through. And so what I would say to that is that some of you guys are coming back from that energy, or that maybe this new, maybe you've got like a newfound sense of sensuality that is robbing other people's attention or something like that, okay? And it's really like starting the fire, and it's, even if you're not being the self-starter in terms of like your situation, it's like lighting the fire under people to get them to start becoming that self-starter and initiating some type of action, right? It's awakening some type of like fire, awakening some type of passion. And people may not always know how to handle you, because I feel like you are great And in some ways you may just be built out of different things to these other people. So I don't know if that means that you're a little bit more sensitive, or if there are things to you that it's like you're just made differently, you're just built differently. People don't realize that if they kind of approach you in one way, that it's not really helpful. I don't know what that looks like. So I don't know. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay. Guys, I have to say, whatever this energy is, I still feel like that sick, that verbal diarrhea, that like, bleh. Some of you guys are you not interested in relationships? And so it's like, even sitting through a reading like this is like, I don't know what this feeling is. Maybe some of you guys have some type of like health condition, or maybe you get the ick real easy, or maybe you like come into contact with people, and even if it's not like a physical ick, you're like, oh, they've got that personality trait. Like, I don't know. And I don't mean that in a way of like putting other people down. I just mean maybe you've been through some things where it's like internalized so much to a degree in which it's like actually creates like a physiological response of like disgust in you or something. And I don't know, it's weird because I get that energy and I feel like this when I sit down and do this reading. I did not feel like this before I did this reading, right? But it's like, and the more I talk about, the more sick that I almost feel, and it's kind of gross. But I look at these cards and the energy I was picking up on before, and it was like so beautiful, and it was like so much potential. And like, when I say potential, it's not just like endless potential that's like airy-fairy and could go nowhere, like sure, but it actually seems like it's real world potential. Like it actually has the ability to land and be something really beautiful if you could let it, if you could find a way to kind of, you know, do something with it. I don't know. Okay, yeah, cards of like desire. I was hearing forbidden desire. So for some of you guys, you may see a situation as forbidden. Some of you guys, are you fantasizing about people that are emotionally unavailable? Whether that is because they are emotionally unavailable or because they're actually not available in terms of like a professional capacity and work ethics or something like that. But it's like, you know, you could have the 10 of cups with them, and so it's like a really easy breezy place to stay mentally, or not mentally, but like a daydreamy fantasizing energy where it's like, oh, that would be really nice, or maybe that's what I'd like it to look like, and you just kind of stay in that. And while you're staying in that, maybe it's a nice place to be, but you're missing out on what's in front of you and what you could do with something, with a person who's not in like this unreachable position or something. Like they actually are accessible, and it would be healthy and it would be really good. But there's also something here, it's like you're seeing something that you don't understand. It's like you're seeing something that maybe an animal part of your human brain understands, but maybe the human part of the brain doesn't. And so what I mean is like, I don't know what the different parts of the brain is. Maybe like, I think a prefrontal cortex is quite like a developed human part of the brain. I don't know if that, I need to use different words because I have not enough education on that. Maybe things like, I don't know, waiting, being patient, making decisions based out of complex situations, maybe understanding something is delicate and how you approach it and applying yourself in a way that's like meaningful and helpful and gentle. I don't really know. I think there's just a recognition here of something is not what you think it is, or something you realize you don't understand what something is. And I think you see it for all its glory and all it could be, and you kind of want that and you don't know how to get that. And so I don't know, but again, it's that call to like look within. But it's like, you guys, I think I really need to go back to, you guys are like the whole package. I'm going to lay out more of these cards because we've got lots of blue and eyes here. So the color blue could be confirmation. And these eyes, you guys have lots of people paying attention to you. I like this entire time I have like a little evil eye kind of, I don't know, amulet thing on the wall. And I've almost half the time been doing this reading, I keep staring up at it and I like can't stop. So You guys are drawing in lots of attention. Lots of people can see you. There's lots of desire here. They find you very attractive, very seductive. I think they want to move towards you. There potentially could be some type of like barrier here or something that they feel like they should not cross. So this could be like a genuine high level respect of boundaries, but it also could be something here where they see you still being in a time of needing more healing or recovery, or they don't know how to bridge the gap because it almost seems too distant. There's something, I don't know. But for others of you, it's like they can tell that you're a complex person, but you've really got it all going on from within. And I don't know. For some of you, they don't really know who you are. All they know is that you're beautiful, okay? I feel like that's probably more common than not. But there's lots of like blue and lots of rainbows. So there is something about you being everything. Yeah. I was getting something about like you are precious. There's some sort of energy of being like a sought after gem or diamond in the rough type of energy. When I say precious, I don't mean that you are to be handled with care, yes, but it is like in reference to like semi-precious versus precious, kind of like diamonds or gems or something like that. So it's like you are of high value, you are of high worth. People would be competing with you. There may be people, even if people are not competing with you, because for once it doesn't totally feel, you know, sadistic and underhanded and just like all the negative things. A lot of people could be competing for you. It's hard to say here, so just take what resonates. I'm getting something here about it doesn't matter what other people think. Anything they can do, you can do better anyway. So if some of you guys are like getting in your head and doubting yourself a lot, or kind of getting anxiety or being apprehensive in comparison to what people could think of you, or, you know, anything like that, it's like maybe having more trust or confidence in yourself, or just giving something a go. Like you're better than you think you are. Like this group, you could have like an unmatched level of like you may not understand your true value or how other people see you, as opposed to like, yeah, how others see you. It's like it doesn't match up. Like you don't really know your worth, or you don't really know how beautiful you are, or you don't know how attractive you are, or you don't know, I don't know. Okay, is there anything else that we need for this reading today? Not really. They are mentioning something about sea salt for those of you that, you know, you want to go for a swim or have a Epsom salts bath or something like that. You can, I don't know if that's something you're drawn to, that would be helpful to you apparently. For some of you, may accidentally draw in a lot of energy that's not yours, and you may have trouble releasing. And so that's where that kind of sea salt message comes through. It's like keeping your energy clear from other people's energy and keeping a point of separation between what's theirs and what is yours, and not taking on anything that isn't yours. Does give me a little bit of empath vibes here as well. So just again, what resonates. Okay, so that's everything that I have for today's collective reading. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys in some way, and I will see you all in another one. Take care.